Hey guys, welcome to CAS the Podcast, a podcast made by students, for students, and for CAS. Today we're going to be discussing about comparing oneself to others, and friendly competition. But first of all, how have you guys been?
Well,
I've been alright.
yeah, I'm in
I was
alright.
kidnapped for a bit, and then I was actually really expecting you guys donating to our OnlyFans, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty grateful for that.
Oh yeah.
Seb was very happy to, he woke up one day, he was depressed as he always is, and then in his email he sees a file. It's a compressed file. We title it "Open this when you're sad." So he opens it.
Yeah.
He sees these images of Belle Delphine, and his day just changes from rainfall. It becomes sunny. It's like he told us that he pooped rainbows the next
Okay, young
morning.
lady.
It was amazing.
We don't need that
Alright,
information.
we get it. Anyway,
We don't need
And now, Seb,
Okay.
the host is back.
Much information.
Okay.
well, we'd like to thank you for subscribing to our OnlyFans, because not only did we get Seb back on the podcast, but we also repaid Bartholomew for the loan he gave us, and we got a guest here today. His name's Julian, and he's a homie. Tell us about yourself, bro.
Hey guys, I'm Julian. I'm a friend of these people. Yes.
Yes, we are these people.
Wow, that sounded very
Wow.
unfriendly.
Yeah, exactly.
Peace, bro.
Fine, classmates.
Classmate. Alright,
Yeah.
okay. But no, you should
Let's
just call us homies, bro.
start off with a simple question.
You need to be first formal. Alright.
Start off with a simple question. Have you guys ever compared yourself to someone? There's only one correct answer.
I mean,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
obviously.
Well,
yeah.
I'm kind of built different, so no. Okay.
Bro,
Okay.
that's bad cap. bro.
Yeah,
That's
If
not-
you-
you're
bro,
right,
if you-
okay,
If
young
anyone
bro.
says that they haven't compared themselves to someone else,
Now the
fucking
only person Youngwood compares himself to is God, bro. He's just
Yeah.
the
Oh,
attribute.
you mean me?
Dude,
You mean me?
he goes against his own religious beliefs and
Okay.
compares himself to the Almighty.
Yes,
I
I,
like
do,
it.
in fact, I do.
Yeah.
Youngwood, how would your parents
The only
feel?
person-
Dude, I compare myself not only to God, but to the Buddha every day, bro. I go outside, I look at this tree, right? I sit underneath it, and I'm like, God damn, I reached Nirvana 20 more times than Buddha has.
Okay.
I don't know if this
Interesting.
goes on the list of offensive jokes, because now we're just
That's not really an offensive. That's sarcasm. And like, I don't really know how Nirvana
mean, if
works.
anyone-
I just want to point that out. I'm not Buddhist.
if anyone
That
wants to
is a
sue
better
us,
name.
we got our OnlyFans, and that funds our lawyer. So like, you know,
Yeah, so but we're
Bro,
basically covered.
But you
you
actually
we have
know?
the best lawyers in the
OnlyFans
country.
account.
Yeah. Dude, we showed you. What do you mean?
Wait,
We showed you.
I didn't-
Our OnlyFans account.
I do have top subscribe.
Anyway, why do you guys think people compare themselves to others? Do you guys
You
think
can-
it's
you can-
for
You can like reap a lot of benefits from it. You know.
What are those benefits then, huh?
Well, you can obviously, like, for example, at school, right? You can compare yourself to someone that's better than you in, like, a certain subject. And then, like, you know, improve on that subject by, like,
what
like,
does this
identifying
person
what you're
do?
doing wrong, you know?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
does
But I
this
mean-
person do that I'm not doing, and how can I get to their level? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, there's like a slight difference, but there's like a gray area between learning from somebody and comparing yourself to somebody. Alright, because like comparing yourself to somebody
But if
could
you can have like,
you compare yourself and then like to see how far you improved, yeah, but like you sometimes compare yourself to others to set an expectation for yourself, alright?
I
Yeah,
feel like
that's
that
more like
that
goal
comes
setting.
that comes together like sequentially.
Mm.
So basically, like you compare yourself first, and then you learn from them. Because in order to like learn from other people, you first have to identify that you're doing something wrong. You know, for example, getting a bad mark and then like reflecting on it, and then comparing it to another person, it allows you to like improve something.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like going back to what Michael said, like it's setting up those expectations. That's literally just that helps with like goal setting. Literally just setting up a goal for yourself, and you're like, how can I achieve this goal? Well, this person who's doing better than me in this subject currently is doing this with their like study routine or their like doing this in class more often than I am, so I'm gonna start doing that as well in order to reach that goal.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no.
it also has to come in steps, you know. It can't just be like leaps, you know, above.
Because
I
like
mean,
like
I-
the
I
process
agree
will
with
take an immediate turn into a freaking burning house, and then like everything. Like
Yeah.
if
Like-
if you rush the process, right, and you don't see any improvement then you're gonna feel bad about yourself, right? Based on your
Yeah, yeah,
expectations.
you're gonna feel shit about yourself due to comparing yourself with someone that is like way better than you. Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
I mean, if I was to give like a personal example, combining all of these things of like growing yourself in steps after comparing, like learning from the person you're comparing yourself against. Like when I was a kid, when I was 5 years old, right, I was enlightened, and because I was enlightened, I built a time machine and I went back in time to meet the Buddha. I realized that the Buddha was more enlightened than I was, so I compared myself to them. I learned their habits, and eventually, after 200 years of meditation and real hard work, I became as enlightened as the Buddha, but it wasn't enough, so I went back in time even further and found the Buddha's mother and dad, and I learned from them, and that was a process in and of itself. And to link this to what you can do in your own life, I feel that this is how like you go, like you start by comparing yourself to your peers, and then after that you eventually you compare yourself to your peers all throughout school, all throughout high school, and you get to uni. You start doing work, and if you do go down that academic route, which is the way that I'm taking this allegory, you start comparing yourself to your university professors, and now you have your PhD. So it is important to have a very step-by-step process.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
200 years.
Anyways,
Yeah, I've got a question for you guys. Like,
Alright.
how do we do we ever stop like comparing ourselves or like trying to improve ourselves? And can that be harmful, like innately?
I mean,
Yes.
I mean, you could say that could happen. Like, let's say that competition escalates further to the point where you're the one getting better marks than that person, then that person is probably just going to try and better themselves.
Yeah, but
Who
do you
knows
ever?
what comes
But
right
don't
from
you
that?
just transfer? Don't you ever just like try to compare yourself with someone better than that person? Because there's always bound to be someone that's like, was it
I mean,
getting
it
high
depends
marks?
on
Yeah,
if the
true.
comparison being made is just like between you and a friend, or like you and just like whoever was the top student, where you could feasibly reach the same level.
This goes also to like role models, right? Like where
Yeah.
we're in our final year, and then like if we do an act of kindness, alright, you see like maybe somebody sees us and they're like, I want to be like them one day, like that.
I want to be that guy who hands out brownies to his homies.
Yeah, true. But
Yeah, dude.
but in
Nah.
terms of like harmful effects, yes, because we always I find that like everybody always tries to compare themselves to somebody to set their own expectations. Alright?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like in terms of what we discussed before was like in terms of studies and stuff, but in terms of like a social aspect, alright, this is where comparing yourself can be more harmful to you. It's like you see somebody, they have like they're a really nice person and all, and then you already feel bad about yourself, right? And you want to change yourself that in a way to be more like them, right?
Yeah, that happens a lot actually.
Yeah, I can.
In a social
had that
environment.
Really,
happen.
personally,
That happened before.
The
Yeah.
big
personally,
thing
how
okay, you know, you go. Okay.
all right, personally, how I see it is that, ideally, right, the only person you should be comparing yourself to is you. You want to be the best person of yourself, because you just want to constantly try improve and become better, right? Because not everyone is the same. People do shit that works for them. People might not have the same goals as you.
Yeah, you're totally
People,
right.
Yeah, everyone's built different.
Yeah, because
Everyone's built different.
Everybody's
It's
built
because
that-
of those competitions.
That's the title of the episode, by the way.
yeah,
You go, Julian.
How do you know
because
that?
comparison doesn't always work, you know, as you like you would expect it. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, like, I'm like constantly referring to like academic, like studying, for example. But like, because some techniques obviously don't work for you. It depends on how how you function cognitively, and what ways you learn the best, you know. And it's not gonna always like reflect other people's, you know, mind and stuff.
And that's like the importance of knowing your limits and when you're comparing yourself to somebody else.
It also relates back to how well you know yourself and how, like, you know.
Yeah.
But
And-
if, you're,
and what-
if you're unsure about like your own self identity, then like having those comparisons with other people can be like, well, if I'm not sure about how I feel about myself in regards to let's say I mean, grade seems like an overused example. Let's say like physical activity. Let's say you're someone that doesn't do a lot of physical activity, that you don't work out a lot, and then you just have like one of your friends working out more than you wouldn't really, but before you realize that they've been working out, you didn't really think that you needed to like improve your like physical well-being. But after that comparison with your friend, you would be like, maybe I could improve on that, you know? Like sometimes when you're not sure about what to improve on with yourself, like you don't realize what could be like improved on, then those comparisons can allow you to like start off with that.
Yeah, like
changing
the
yourself.
comparison.
I totally agree.
Is proof of you being able to get to a certain level. But linking on what Michael said before about knowing the limits, I feel that that's a very important thing, because comparison can only get you so far. Like there are limits
Yeah.
to what you can do. Like this isn't a bad thing. However, like just because you compare yourself to Usain Bolt, for example, doesn't mean that I can. Just because I compare myself to Usain Bolt doesn't mean that I can become like a professional sprinter.
Yeah.
That gets like a world record in sprinting. It probably won't happen. It could happen, but it probably won't happen. And link with that. My main point here is that there's nothing wrong with being average. Like, comparison is good because it allows you to improve yourself, but you shouldn't feel down if you get to a point where you can't improve yourself further.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
the way
and
it is.
also, oh, you can go. You can still go.
Oh, okay. If I can still go. So, for example, you know, when I realized I was 20 times as enlightened as the Buddha, I went to bed. When I woke up, I realized I wasn't 20 times as enlightened as the Buddha, and I felt sad. But then I realized that even though that I was average and only 5 times as enlightened as the Buddha, and not 20 times as enlightened as the Buddha as I thought I was,
Jesus, okay.
Okay.
it was fine. It was fine.
Bro, what the fuck?
Young, I thought you were Christian, not Buddhist.
Okay.
I'm a Christian. That's 5 times. as enlightened.
5 times as
No.
enlightened as a double Christian. True.
I'm kidding. I'm not even a percentage as enlightened as the Buddha is, probably. From what I know of
said he was
Igor.
200 years old.
Yeah,
Okay,
he seemed-
boomer.
The dude seems to be a
Okay,
very wise
Boomer.
individual, so I have nothing against him. I'm nowhere near as enlightened as he is.
Okay. Extending upon Youngwoo's like previous points.
About how I was enlightened as the
No,
Buddha.
before the Buddha part. I feel like it's important to it's really important to identify like your role model, you know, like the attributes of your role model,
Yeah.
and like whether you can see yourself like achieving, you know, those attributes, or like improving upon your own attributes to like meet their standards. Because you reference, like, for example, Usain Bolt, right? Oh, like sometimes that's based on like genetic ability, like genetics, and like hard work, like training, right? Like, I feel like setting minor goals,
Just little steps.
setting minor goals is really important. Yeah,
Yeah.
and having like that consistency.
The small stepping stones.
Yeah. because that's when you know like you can achieve that, you know, something that you can achieve,
Like it
because
just
you don't want to be demotivated from being unable to achieve like your grand goal in like one go, you know.
It's like working on an assignment, right? You want to create mini deadlines
Yeah,
for
yeah,
yourself,
exactly.
right? You don't want to work on it all in one go because that's going to be really unorganized and you're not going to be able to put out your best work. But if you focus on one specific aspect of the assignment or the task at hand,
Yeah.
right, you're going to be able to focus on it and give it your best shot. And once you're done with that, you're going to have more motivation since, you know, getting shit done makes us happy, I guess. It releases
Yeah,
dopamine and that shit.
yeah, it's like
yeah,
like
productivity.
a great analogy is like running a sprint, right? You start like at the start of the sprint, right? You
Yeah.
get off. You're not taking full steps. You're taking little steps, and then you progressively reach on like, and then your steps progressively get longer and longer until you finally reach a point where you've made like you've reached your initial like your maximum speed, right?
Yeah, it's like it's momentum.
yeah,
you
it's
know?
momentum exactly. So
Or it's
Yeah.
like it's like building an item in League of Legends, right? Would you want to wait for like let's say war mugs, right? I don't exactly remember how much it costs. Maybe like
$3K.
$3,000,
Yeah,
right?
3,000.
You want to buy the sub items so that you can get to the big one, because if you buy the sub items, you can reap some of the
Yeah.
benefits that the larger item gets you before you have enough money to
Exactly.
buy the larger
And you're
item.
building
Yeah.
towards something big, right?
For example, Kindle Gem
It's all these small components.
300
Yeah.
health,
You-
10 ability haste. It costs 800 gold.
That's insane,
Yeah.
bro.
That's insane.
That's insane.
You know why I
Our
remember
audience
that?
will probably
Because
not
I'm a
understand
lighter
it.
than the Buddha.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you guys a question. Have you ever been like in a, let's call it a personality crisis, where you're just thinking how whack ass your personality is, and you wanna change it based on the people around you?
Yeah.
Bro,
Oh,
deadass,
okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna
Wait,
be real
this
here.
conversation. It's,
Like
I've definitely not heard this before.
you,
Just-
you compare
just-
yourself with others.
just
and
an
you
hour
feel
ago.
like
no,
you're better.
Um,
as in like
Due to
yeah,
personality
no,
crisis.
like that, like have you ever?
I'm gonna cry. Oh my god.
I'm gonna be real. I
have
still
no
deadass
personality.
Oh,
Yeah.
I still deadass don't know who the fuck I am. Like,
Yeah, true.
I never knew, to be honest. But
I can't.
Yeah,
my
we moved.
personal story. I remember before I was 5, it was enlightened as I was.
Okay.
When I was 3
my-
years
my
old.
God.
Dude,
Oh my
alright,
fucking
oh
God,
my
bro.
gosh, okay. Yo,
Bro,
at this
oh my
point,
God.
it's gonna be just
Forget-
repetitive.
Someone mute
I
this
swear.
guy.
It's not. Sooner or later, it's not gonna be funny, and it's just gonna be freaking okay, bro.
yeah, I'd like to apologize for that.
on behalf of this podcast, you know.
Me being as enlightened as I am, would like to
No, that-
apologize for the constant Buddhist jokes.
Yeah.
But,
No,
Yeah,
like,
you
going
should
on,
be
like-
very sorry.
Like going on with what Emmanuel said, like he doesn't know who he is. Like I'm pretty sure nobody knows who they are fully,
you're saying.
Mm.
because like constantly we're just trying to discover who we are as a person, and that using comparisons gives us like comparing ourselves to our friends and people around us. Just trying like because we want to know who we are, right? And we want to find out who we are, and then by comparing ourselves to other people around us, we get a glimpse of what we could possibly be. That's the
We
thing.
see parts
the
of them
thing
that
is,
we
no
want
one
in
knows
us.
who they
and
are.
we
That's
see,
the
yeah,
thing.
and we like yeah, they hold traits that what we want in ourselves. So
You know, especially because we're teenagers. We're in our formative years, right? Like we might be nearing the end of our teens, but we're still in our formative years. I remember we talked about this with Julian a while back. Our frontal cortex doesn't stop developing until the age of 25.
Yeah,
But even after that, you still continue changing as an individual.
Yeah.
I mean that
Bro,
that
that's
kind of
crazy.
like denotes how like impetuous we are and like
yeah.
how fickle we are at making decisions and stuff.
Especially because most of our ideas and like things we live by aren't actually our ideas. They're ideas that we borrowed from other people. That's how
Yeah.
personality
Yeah,
gets
just
formed. That's how
literally just
knowledge
self-
we-
and yeah,
affects who you are.
and like this is where like comparing yourselves and like role models can be a bad thing, because if you're brought up in the wrong environment, then like you're gonna
Yeah. You can
end
be
up somebody.
conditioned into believing like this role model is good for me, even though it's not. You know, because
Yeah.
you learn based on the people around you, and like
You
for
believe
example,
that.
like social cognitive theory, which is like observing other people's behavior to like and learning from them. And if you're conditioned to an
Yeah.
environment, into a negative environment, then it's very likely that you'd have like negative role models.
Yeah, because you internalize those negative traits.
Yeah.
When you're
Have you?
in that environment.
I think it's a quote or like I don't know, but what do you guys think of that thing that says you're basically the 5 people you spend the most time around?
Yeah,
that's
you are.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree with that.
that's
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 an interesting
100%.
claim. That's actually an interesting
Yeah, that
claim.
is very interesting actually.
Because I don't know who I am, right? I feel like I'm a sponge absorbing everything around me, right? I catch myself saying shit that feels like what another person would say.
Yeah.
I adopt slang from different people. I adopt behaviors and ways of thinking that I recognize in other people. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
your behaviors from like a young age, like all your mannerisms, things like that, will probably have been like either taught to you by your parents or you just subconsciously like got them from your parents. And then when it comes to like when you get older and you start getting into school, your friends are now your new influences because you see them more often than your actual parents on the weekdays.
yeah.
And then from there, you adopt their behaviors, their mannerisms, and that might conflict with what your parents had been
Yeah.
like displaying or teaching you, like for the first like 5 to 6 years of your life, and that's when things start clashing. Personalities become like more mixed, more varied, things like that.
I think I know where Seb's going with this. So the other day, Sebastian came to school and he was a different man. His aura, if he was skinny, now was macho, right? Like he had changed completely. And the thing that he did different was that he wore a golden watch. Now he didn't want to wear this golden watch, but his parents forced
yes.
him to.
Yeah.
The clash between his personality and the personality that his parents wished to give onto him created this Sebastian that came to school with a golden watch.
New Sebastian.
Like
It's
the
fresh.
only reason why Seb has
Fresh
that
man.
golden watch is because I secretly ran a GoFundMe page behind you guys' back and secretly asked subs and people to donate, and then I gave all the money to Seb. That's why he could.
No,
That's
we
why he
got
has
the
a golden watch.
Right.
funds we
Oh,
got
yeah,
from-
yeah.
from OnlyFans.
I guess to cut to the chase, right? You want to be really careful about who you spend your time with, because if you spend time around people who don't do anything and have like really negative auras, you're not gonna get anywhere, right? If you spend time with people that are sad, you're gonna be sad too. If you spend time with people who work hard and do shit in order to achieve their dreams, you're gonna want to do that too, right?
Yeah.
And you could really look for it's like what we said in Homies Forever, right? You guys can help each other to get to that point, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Going
That's
on
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like in year 7, that like I had the same type of feeling. Like I'm not gonna name any names here, but like in year
hey, who
7,
was it? No, I'm
no,
kidding.
okay, okay, I'm not gonna name any names here, but like in year 7, I had like an initial friend group, people within my homeroom or SDP or Instep, whatever you call it. But like
I was fucking Jared.
I was like friends with them because they're like the first people I met at a new school and at the start of high school.
Yeah.
And then sooner or later, I realized they weren't really the nicest people. Like they, they like sort of like bullied me subliminally.
Yeah.
Because of
We're giving
me-
off negative.
no, like for me being me at the time, right? And
Yeah.
that point was a life-changing moment. Like, I just decided that I'll just leave these people and go to like another friend group or something, and that's when I moved over to like G Block at Mansfield, and then.
Wait,
What?
no doxing, bro. No
Cut-
doxing.
Oh, okay,
bro.
no,
It's
no,
fine.
no,
It's
no,
fine.
no.
But I like to say, Michael,
but it's
origin story.
For
No,
those
yeah,
of you
but
guys
like-
who are confused,
Movie.
we just accidentally doxed ourselves. Anyway,
oh, no, yeah.
yeah,
You
continue.
can just cut that out. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll cut that out.
But like,
Actually, act
No.
like we were talking about something different. That
Yeah.
way, like, it'll just be funny. Actually, no. You know what?
No.
No,
Oh yeah,
But, like,
I got a question.
Okay, continue.
you continue. Like that. What?
Okay.
And then by moving over to another friend group, I was able to like change because of the people around
For the
me.
better.
And for the better, right? But then that's when I first started to like develop my quiet nature and not so talkative person that I was back in like year 6.
All
It's
right, can I
because,
get
like-
a?
So
Can I give a quick proactive? If your
Wait,
friend,
I want to add something first.
all right, you go first then.
Okay. I just wanted to say like it's really important. Like, who you're making friendships with, and like how like intimate or like deep you want to like make that connection with, you know, because in doing so you're making yourself vulnerable to like hurt, to like you know, pain and suffering, and yeah, it makes it can be harmful to you, yeah, especially if you're with the wrong
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 friend group.
people.
And like, I mean, I don't want to say that I've had a similar experience to Michael, but yeah, I have had a similar experience to Michael, which we'll probably cover in another episode. But yeah, I mean, finding out that the influences around you, like your friends within your homeroom, were not as trustworthy or as like positively motivating as you once thought, can really change how you feel about like other people, like how you trust. What type of people you should be more willing to trust, and like the different types of friends that you should probably be trying to make
Yeah.
as a result.
Also,
Wait, one thing. I'm sorry, but Sebastian, a very good word you could have used there is the word called benign.
Benign.
Benign and
Benign.
you have benign people.
Yeah,
okay,
I
you want to
guess.
spend spend time around benign people. Wait,
benign.
people,
I
yeah.
love the word.
Like
I'm sorry.
like in high school especially, right? People, like, our identities are basically, I mean, like, on to some extent, right? Our identities are linked to the people that we hang out with, right? So if people in your group are doing shitty stuff, right, people are gonna link you to those people, and like, yeah, even if you didn't do this shit yourself, bro, people are gonna associate that with you subconsciously. You get what I mean? So
And also-
yeah.
An interesting thing is, as like back when we talked to like identifying what was it? Identifying yourself and like determining who you are. Since nobody knows who they are, right? If we compare, like, how do we really identify that, you know? Because we're just comparing ourselves to other people and like perceiving them as like knowing who they are, you know?
Yeah.
And like their attributes, their semblance, and like their disposition. They might just they're also trying to find who they are. So it's like something that's fluid and not indefinite.
Yeah.
You know?
But like also it comes to like the people around you does not fully determine who you are as a person.
That's true.
Because like most of it will mostly come to like how you were raised or maybe how you behave and stuff. Alright.
You still
There's
have
very
full
there's
responsibility of your actions.
Like,
so
yeah,
you
I
need
maybe-
to decide what's right.
Yeah, like,
Determinism.
especially that, like,
Yes.
even if you hang around a certain group of people, right? If you're adamant against that sort of behavior, if you don't look up to it, right? If you don't, you can compare yourself with that behavior, but if you don't act upon that comparison, or you like don't try to learn from it, then You don't really take their attributes. per se.
Yeah.
Because you just get demotivated, basically.
No. That's not what I'm getting at. So it's like,
Oh.
so Michael was saying that the people you hang around don't fully determine your attributes. Just say that you guys all like to eat Reese's Puffs, but I don't like Reese's Puffs.
Get the fuck
What?
out of here, bro. Who doesn't like Reese's Puffs,
You
bro?
guys eat
Reese's Puffs are the shit,
yeah,
bro.
that's fair.
Reese's Puffs.
Yeah, I'm
Doesn't
kidding.
like
I'm kidding.
Reese's
Yeah,
If
go
I
on.
compare your behavior and mine, and we've established a comparison can lead to growth, but am adamant against getting anything from that comparison, I won't change. So, therefore, we've concluded that although that you can change from the people around you, if you accept those changes and see those changes as good, and therefore accept them, but if you see those possible changes as bad, you can most definitely not change.
Yeah, and that's
Or-
that's based on your own perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, the issue
Your own
there.
reasoning.
Like,
Are you gonna let yourself change or not?
children
Yeah.
don't know, don't have their own opinions. So no matter what,
Yeah, bro, I'm an opinion.
they'll change
Yeah.
to whatever the environment is. No matter like
Yeah,
what it
and
actually
like based on their like parental guidance and stuff. You know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that just goes back to what I said before. Like, parents make up. I mean, you spend basically all of your time with your parents for like the first 5-6 years, and then, boom, you're put into school where you're meant to spend with kids at the same age as you for the next 12, 13 years or so, and that will definitely change your behavior a lot more than you'd think it would.
Like the changes in lifestyle is also shown in how we progress through the school system from primary school to high school and then into university, or like life per se, like in quotation.
Another
And that comes with like your own like development as a person,
Yeah.
like biologically, you know, brain developments and stuff. As long as like learning.
Like
Yeah.
high school is completely different to primary school, and especially
not completely,
No, not completely, but like there's a
To
big
some
difference.
extent.
There's a big
There's
jump.
a big difference.
There's a big
Yeah,
jump
there's a
between
big difference
primary.
on like big difference in terms of like goals and it's not just
Expectation.
Yeah,
The
high
expectations
expectations.
put on you.
And
learning.
like
yeah.
going back, like expectations and comparison. This is like you set expectations for yourself. Like you expect yourself to
them-
be smart, and then you compare, and then you see somebody who's smarter than you, and then
Yeah.
that goes back to like knowing your limits and stuff. Because it's like if you think you're smart, you set in expectations to be like a good student, but then you see your friend doing way much better, then
Yeah.
you're gonna feel worse about yourself, right? Because you're like you know that you're so far away from what you're supposed to be,
Yeah.
and
And also
knowing
it depends like on the like the population you compare it to, or like the group. For example, like us being like an academically selected school, right? Like we compare ourselves to this population, right? But in terms of like the population of Australia, where like we exceed far above the average.
Yeah, and
Like it's solely dependent on like the environments that we are put in, you know,
Yeah,
and like the people around us.
Well, at the end of the day, I think that you should set your own goals and metrics for success, like by yourself. You shouldn't base it on another person's. You shouldn't solely base it on another
Yeah,
person's
solely base
achievement.
it. Yeah,
Because like at the end of the day, your success is your success, and what makes you happy is gonna be different to what makes someone else happy, right? You can take inspiration from someone else, but if you keep if you try to become them, like what the fuck is the point, right?
exactly.
You're your own person. Yeah.
okay, and you shouldn't change your personality to be someone else unless it's like developing on your personality. That is.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Very true,
Very
Sebastian.
true.
Also, I wanted to bring up I didn't start swearing until I came to the school that we're at.
Really?
So, yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting
Yeah, same.
observation to make.
Yeah, I didn't really swear until like actual like add swearing into my daily talks and daily conversations until like year 9. Like
I
I was-
incorporated swearing since grade 4. Oh my god.
damn,
what's scary,
damn.
Bro,
No,
built different.
no.
Everyone's built different.
Exactly, damn.
Everyone's built
It
it.
all comes back to that, bro.
One thing is that
I can just imagine 7 year 4 just like just constantly swearing. The man with the dirtiest potty mouth.
It wasn't frequent. It wasn't frequent, but definitely.
That's comparing yourself academically with other people. That's one thing that I feel like you don't really need to compare yourself with. Like it might be good to do it. They can learn other people's studying habits, learn to be more effective. Learn what in that regards, I feel like there's no really much of a point.
I mean, it depends on the person's values and how
I
they
guess,
value
yeah, but,
academic success.
Okay, going from my values, which is a good point that you raised, I don't really care because as long as I'm at the point where I can get into the degree I want, I'm fine. I can.
Yeah,
I'll
because-
be,
Yeah, because you also need also like know like specifically prerequisites for the university courses that you want. Like if you're already achieving something, like if you're already achieving what you need to achieve to get into a specific course, then like there's nothing else you can really do. I mean, your goals kind of like in the
It's a fixed goal.
already in the direction. I mean, yeah, kind of.
Like going back to like that notion of comparison, a great example of like comparing yourself to the other people around you is one of the best animated movies of all time, Kung Fu Panda. I'm not even joking here, but like it's true. Like you have
Oh,
you have
God.
Po. He feels and like he somehow ends up in this situation where he is seen as the the next dragon warrior, right?
He's not
Yeah.
seen as
Yeah.
the Dragon Warrior. He is the
He
Dragon
is
Let him
the-
tell
yeah,
the story.
but
Let him
in
tell
the
the
beginning,
story.
right?
Warrior.
Yeah.
Let him tell the story.
And like he gets put into a situation where there's so many other like other characters, right? The martial artists and stuff. He doesn't feel like, based on the other people around him, he doesn't feel like he belongs there, right? And like as me, like sometimes I experience at our school, like I feel like I don't belong at this school sometimes because of the people around me and me knowing my own ability. It just doesn't feel like it's like up to scratch to the standards that it should be at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just shows how comparison can be toxic at times. You know,
Exactly.
it depends on the people who.
There's a lot
you
of
compare
toxic
to.
comparison out there.
Yeah,
Makes
Yeah,
you feel
especially
like
when-
Sometimes it gets really competitive, and that's
That's
it's
like
stressful.
the biggest
like
negative
competition enough,
effect
you know.
of like comparison or just competition is just being afraid of just like the amount of stress that's going to come from it, especially like if the other person knows that you're competing with them, who knows how they're going to react. Are they going to react with like, oh yes, we're going to compete now so that your marks get better, good luck with that, or are they going to try and even raise those standards even higher just to make things difficult for you, or perhaps they'll see you like, I wouldn't say as a threat, but like definitely not as a threat, but like someone who you probably wouldn't want overtaking you, so you just make things harder for them, maybe, or something along those lines.
sabotage. Okay.
Like that goes back to also knowing your limits and knowing your own ability. Like if you have these friendly competitions, like I'm pretty sure Jahan's knows about these friendly competitions, right?
Yeah, Jahan. Friendly
Yeah, Jahan.
Yeah, Jahan, could you talk about
Like, can we
friendly
just-
competitions that you have with your friends?
Yeah, okay, so let's go back to last year. Last year ending, me, Julian, and Duran were kind of in a friendly competition, but because I didn't really care much about it, I kind of didn't try that much. So that let me kind of a bit down, because even though I was competing, I didn't perform as well, even though it was all on me, because I didn't try hard enough, and I knew that. So next year comes around, and I realized that rather than comparing myself. I have to work on myself before I'm able to even compare to other people that are on a different level than me. So reflecting on my own exams, reflecting on my own performance.
Comparing
have
yourself
to-
to you.
Yeah, comparing myself to me, basically. So, someone at my level, and that person was me in my case. So, basically, that made me, I would say that made me an overall happier person. And, like, even though I don't compare myself academically to anyone else other than myself, I still compare myself, like, in my physical capabilities. Because I'm
You
pretty big
value
on
it,
health.
don't you? Don't you, Jahan?
Yeah,
You value it.
a bit too much than I should.
The Karate
I value-
Kid, bro.
I value my physique more than my academics, and because like it's a field that I'm good at, that I think I'm good at, and I don't. And today we had sports day at our school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I competed I competed pretty well, but regardless, I didn't come out on top. That made me feel down for like quite a few hours after school, but then I got over it, saying like I wasn't prepared enough, and other people have been specializing in those areas more than me, and I just had to accept the fact that like I wasn't putting my focus on athletics this term. I was doing more work in academics. So even then, like, there's gonna be severe differences in performance because people.
I
everyone's
mean, you were
getting
really
differently,
close to
so-
getting first, right?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
close. But the thing is,
Yeah,
like,
that means there's some you are able to compare with the other person because there's only one person that's ahead of you.
no,
Hmm.
technically two, but one of them sprained.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, one of them sprained
Just
their.
Yeah, imagine
Yeah.
imagine
Guess what
not getting in
matters
the
is,
finals. Imagine Jahan. Just kidding.
Why you gotta
is,
do it like that?
Dude,
I'm
oh,
joking.
matters
I'm
is
joking.
you
I'm
tried your
joking.
best and you gave it
There's,
your
al-
all.
there's only like 5 people in my house or something. Kidding. It was
Yeah,
really
No,
bad.
that was six.
I mean,
6 other
There's
people.
like 4 people in my house. My mom, my dad, my sister, and me.
Yeah.
Contact me, Sebastian,
yeah.
Julian, we're all in the same
True.
group for this day, and there were like
Wow.
8 groups, right? And our group came last, by a long shot.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Imagine having a house. I'm homeless. I live on the streets.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get cat. No, I'm kidding.
And
Um,
we're gonna get
No,
cancelled for
it's
living
way
on the
long.
for
I wanted
he's
to bring
saying I
up
live on the streets.
another. I wanted to bring up another interesting concept. Wait, was anyone gonna say anything first
No.
of all?
Go ahead.
I like my enlightened senses are telling me.
Alright,
No,
okay,
okay,
okay, that's
okay,
fine.
young, okay,
Okay, you
you're
don't
gonna
wanna
get
say
cancelled
anything.
if you make
Oh.
another Buddha joke.
Have you guys heard of?
another
Everyone,
Buddhist
shush,
remark,
shush.
bro.
Right, man.
Have you guys heard of Schadenfreude? I don't know if I'm fucking pronouncing that right, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
But,
it's like a
Yeah, yeah.
phenomenon where you get satisfaction or you feel good, like you laugh at someone else's misfortune because they're doing worse than you, right? That's why we laugh at someone falling over, right?
Slapstick
Or
humor.
that's why we say sucks to be you. That's why it's. What do you guys
man,
think
that
of
sounds
that?
like a bully attitude.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
but,
but
like-
that was.
Yeah, but don't you think that's implanted in us? Like that's a part of like.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's a
Yes.
good thing, but I'm saying
I
that it's
feel
part
like
of
I
it.
feel like everyone feels that.
Yeah,
Personally,
I
I
mean,
do.
yeah.
But
negative
I try.
aspects of
like-
competition,
I
yeah.
try not to like. I try not to
Satisfy
What do you
too much. Entertain it.
not to
Entertain that thought.
yeah,
Mm.
I guess entertain it or like show or reveal like my reactions to it. You know,
Mm.
like making it less obvious, or like making or like making it into like a lighthearted joke. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I do the same thing. I tend to react in weird ways to sad things because that's
'Cause you-
kind of
yeah.
how I cope with it. You know, like I make everything into a joke, and that helps me cope with it. So that
Yeah.
I know
Everything
it's
is a
not where
joke.
It doesn't
everything
that make you shy from reality?
No.
Yeah,
No, but you
no,
can't
it's
always
good.
face
Yeah,
reality.
you can't always
It's
face
gonna be
reality
something
because
in the
reality can be harsh sometimes.
Yeah.
Be real when you need to be real, but
you
don't
need
always be
bravery
real.
and courage.
I mean, always be real, but like Yeah.
Like,
Bro, I
if
don't fucking
humans
know
were
what I'm
like 100% realistic all the time, then oh my
We'd be
goodness.
hella pessimistic.
Exactly.
I know.
Where would
We
all
have
the
dreams
memes
and
be?
ambitions
Where would
for
Yeah,
our
what-
memes be?
Society wouldn't exist.
We, true.
Young Wu wouldn't be as enlightened as he is.
Exactly.
There'd be no Reddit.
There'll be no Reddit, no!
There'd
Yes.
be no OnlyFans.
True.
Well,
There'd be no
personally,
GoFundMe pages.
For me, in regards to Schadenfreude and other people's misfortune, it really depends on context. Just say your friend fell over. You wouldn't fucking laugh at. I mean, depend. Maybe
That's
you
true.
would
I
laugh.
wouldn't laugh at
Maybe if it's
I would
not
laugh.
serious.
My
you'd
first
laugh.
reaction would be
It depends.
help them up.
Yeah.
It depends on how they felt.
Oh, that's fair.
I'm
That's
joking,
fair.
I'm joking.
That's fair.
I mean,
That's fair. But it depends on
Joking.
context. If they feel upset, you'd feel upset with them.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
if
if
you have
it's
empathy.
like, it
depends
really
on their
depends
reaction.
on context. I don't know what to say. It depends
Yeah,
on context.
It
everything
depends
is
on
contextual.
context. Exactly. Like if you
It depends on their on the context and also their reaction to it as well.
like if you
The
fail
theory of
to
relativism
if you
is
fail
empathy
to
of-
discuss about the context in your English writing, then you're not gonna get a good mark because you're
Context.
ignoring context.
I'm
Context is
getting
everything.
I'm getting PTSD right now.
Context.
Yes.
Bro, I'm not, okay, I'm not
Same,
about to-
honestly.
Context is everything to life. Alright? Like if you take everything out of context, then you're gonna see everything so negative. It like depends on the situation,
Alright,
but like if something controversial happens and you take it out of context, then you're gonna
Yeah.
see it negatively, right?
Yeah. I'd like to relate that to academics, right? When you're learning information, you should always try to link it to some previous knowledge that you've had or something else that you've learned. Because like you want that knowledge to be like general knowledge to you. You don't want
You
it
want
to
to
be
try and integrate
something
it
that
into
you
your daily
memorize.
life.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You want context to it. You want to know how it fits relative to
Yeah,
everything
exactly.
that you know.
I mean,
And
literally,
That's synaptic connection.
and that's
you know?
why like
That's why
Julian
mind
has
maps are so fucking
constantly been referring to a psychology.
Not really.
No,
He's
no,
talking
no,
about
really,
good time.
but-
What do you mean?
Bro, really?
Well, let's just say a lot of concepts that he's talked about also.
Oh, really?
no.
I mean,
Come on,
Bro,
Okay.
conversations like
literally
these,
mentioned
like,
social cognitive theory outright. We talked about the idea of identifying like the behaviors and adopting the behaviors and identity and such of values of like your friend groups and such.
mm,
oh
I mean,
shit, I forgot to talk about social identity. No, I'm
That
joking.
is
I guess-
literally
I'm
okay,
joking,
no.
I'm joking.
Like yeah,
Um,
going back to what Emmanuel said, we can all agree that topic 10 of chemistry is one of the easiest topics to learn because it links everything together.
it links
You have to
everything
agree with
together.
me here. We have to
Yeah,
agree with me.
It does
That's
link
why
to
I
those
find.
things,
That's
yeah.
why.
That's
That's why I
topic
find
10.
topic 10.
Topic 10.
Topic
By
10
the way,
and
that's
topic
organic
20.
chemistry.
Yeah, like topic
Or
10
you-
and topic 20, like the easiest to learn because it links all of our fundamental knowledge that we've learned in previous topics all together. And
That's
see how
organic
they,
chemistry
Yeah,
for people that don't do IB.
yeah, that's
Yes.
organic
kind
chemistry
of,
in a nutshell.
Also, if you
Yeah.
take things, if you take a snippet of shit that we said in other podcasts out of context, then that could mean something completely different, right?
Exactly.
If you don't have the context, then yeah,
like
Yeah.
like
what
the,
the fuck will it mean
It
to
kind
you?
of like reveals
Please
like
subscribe to our OnlyFans. We need more money to buy
Jesus.
Belle Delphine's OnlyFans
This is-
for you and our
exactly.
users.
unsolicited promotion. Right
like yeah, exactly. Like if you take out of like if you take what Youngmi said out of context, then you're gonna think that he's a Belle Delphine fan. No,
But I am
He's
a Belle
Delphine
But we
simp.
are.
Yeah.
But we are.
SIMP.
now.
Simp.
Which kind of shows that.
SIMP. Simp.
Context is fucking everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of like shows how we're supposed to learn as humans.
No
you know?
words.
Yeah, we're supposed to link concepts together
Learners.
and
Students.
to like value that knowledge to remember it. You know.
Alright,
Alright.
we're gonna wrap up like
Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys
I mean-
have any final like?
I mean,
thoughts?
to really just summarize everything, yes, competition can be considered a really good thing. It helps like to motivate yourself to do better when you're comparing yourself to others. but also
Yeah.
like being able to like grow upon your own like mannerisms, your own personality and such when you're comparing it to yourself. But then, yeah, you gotta be aware of like the negative aspects, such as like Schadenfreude, and like the idea of like the like toxic
behavior,
toxic
bro.
behaviors that might have been caused by like the model and such. Yeah,
Alright.
and then we can also link that back to like personality things, like personality crises, having issues with like not knowing who you really are, and then you're basing your behaviors based on other people around you.
Yeah, so what do you guys think
Yeah.
of this topic in this episode? To me, it was really interesting.
I enjoyed it.
Hence,
I
the,
enjoyed
the,
it a lot.
hence the very long episode. This is like
For a
50
good
minutes.
reason.
Yeah, for a good reason, because it's really interesting, right?
Yeah. It's
There's a lot
clearly
more to talk about.
And
A
like
lot
it
more
shows
to
how
talk
like
about. Yeah, it's very
it shows like
open-ended.
how a lot of concepts link together. Yeah.
If any questions pop into your mind regarding this episode, maybe something that you've heard, maybe something you want us to talk about in a later episode, or if you want Julian on for more episodes, because he's a great
Yeah.
guest. Thanks.
Yeah.
Let's all thank
Or
Julian
if
for
you
being
wish
here,
Yeah.
for taking his time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Let's all thank
subscribe.
him. Let's all thank
subscribe,
him.
Click the
Everybody
like.
fucking thank him,
So
bro.
okay, what's the Instagram account, Julian?
CAS the Podcast.
Yeah, Kaz, dude. Okay, you got.
Okay,
you
my
got
bad.
it.
Alright.
It's all good.
Okay.
Why don't you guys thank Julian like me? No, I'm kidding.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for listening / watching to the third episode of CAS the Podcast. We really
what
appreciated
is
your support on the past 2 episodes. Thank you for like the subs so far, the views, the likes, the comments,
The
everything.
OnlyFans subs.
The OnlyFans
donations,
subs,
the
exactly.
Twitch follows.
Honestly, thanks to OnlyFans, I managed to buy myself some rice yesterday.
No, thanks to only
That's good shit, bro.
I got
Yeah,
released from my basement.
Thanks to
Oh,
thanks,
your basement, goddamn.
thanks to the OnlyFans, I can afford a box for my house on the
Nice,
streets.
bro.
That's
This
cool.
episode was
fair,
kind of
Making small steps already. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys don't understand how anxious I am right now.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
I get
Yeah.
halfway through, I just started thinking of the scenario. What if I forgot to press start recording? And I have.
Dude, I mean,
What
don't
if,
worry,
bro, then
don't
we
worry,
would fucking fire
Wait.
you, bro.
don't worry. You'll always have a second
Wait,
recording.
Wait, you have a second thing?
What? I'm recording. What?
You are? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Oh, no,
Dude.
no, don't lie. Okay,
Bro,
if you
I
fail,
legit
I'll
always
make it
record
back on.
because me good PC have.
Wait, what?
Alright.
Because me
alright,
good
alright.
PC
Alright.
have. Alright, yeah. So, thank you to Julian for joining us.
Yeah. It was a
Carrying-
pleasure, guys. It was
carrying
a pleasure.
episode.
Carrying
we
the
had fun,
episode.
we had fun.
I mean,
Carrying, dude.
but
Dude,
that's
I did. What do you
yeah,
mean?
but that's what special guests are for, no?
Dude,
carry
real
the
question.
episode.
To do
I
our
feel like-
project for us.
One final question for Julian, our special guest. What is your profile picture?
Ah.
We don't talk about
That's
that.
a. That's
Alright,
His
fine.
waifu.
I
Sim!
found myself being
Look
Bro,
at
I
the
think,
sim!
I think, bro. I think,
I'm joking.
I think
What do
some
you
of
mean?
us
This
really-
is. This is me. You know.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
true.
Oh,
Oh,
honestly,
really?
I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
say anything against it.
This
Oh,
is
yeah,
this
it's
is
not
the face
wrong.
half of me.
I don't
Trust
want to
me.
get into the ramifications of this. Let's just end.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit. We
alright,
shouldn't
well-
be talking about this.
Well, we
Okay.
don't want to lose Sebastian for another episode. So let's just
Yeah,
end
exactly.
this here, bro.
Alright, yeah,
Let's leave for his sake.
we don't want him to get burnt out again.
Oh my
Alright, okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, so
Alright.
thank you guys for thank you guys for watching / listening to the podcast. Once again, let's just give a round of applause or virtual round of applause to Julian for joining us today.
can you actually add the clapping sound
Insert
effect this time?
clapping.
Insert
and
clapping.
Insert clapping. Yeah.
Yeah, actually add that
Clapping
shit.
filler.
Bro.
Yeah.
Insert horns.
So also
Yeah,
for
Michael,
those
No,
For
stop.
those-
stop,
piano,
yeah,
the
stop
bass,
there,
the
young
drums.
and then yeah,
Alright,
so
let's
also
let's just
Okay,
Yeah.
here goes.
and yeah,
Alright.
also
So-
for those about the Spotify, most likely will happen soon. Maybe not. So yeah, I'm pretty much said what I need to say. Just thank you guys once again. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and share this to your friends. And yeah, we'll see
Michael
you
and I
guys.
are gonna play Minecraft. Bye.
Yeah,
Have
and
a
then
nice
we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace. Yeet.
Yeah, let's fucking
Yeah.
go!